hopefully it goes live now. We'll see. Hello friends, this is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I am not used to YouTube's new streaming, so hopefully everything is going okay. I'm going live a little bit earlier to suss out any kind of technical issues I might have, but I'll be playing my solo self-found character. Alright, looks good. Can you hear me alright? Perfect. Is the music too loud? Alright, sweet. So, this is my solo self-found character. It's an assassin, and it's going to be using a Spellslinger with Blade Fall, Blade Blast, and Ethereal Knives, and it is poison stacking, so making use of the Noxious Strikes, notable of course, and then Toxic Delivery, Opportunistic for clear speed. Hey, how's it going, N-King? How's it going, dude? And yeah, we've got a little bit going on here, gonna be stacking. Hey, how's it going, Robert? Pretty good, yourself? All right, getting some people in here. I'm just about I've started mapping already, but I'm kind of just getting going in the early white map so far. Nothing so great about my equipment just yet, although I did find these really nice boots, high life and 30 movement speed, and I was able to craft a third resistance. They already came with 2. Doing really good, feeling pretty good today, and it looks like I am finally able to stream again. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I got a much quieter fan, so sweet exploits. Well, it's not exactly an exploit, although I do think this build uses a what I would consider kind of an unfair damage mechanic, which is the Noxious Strike, which gives you 5% increased poison duration for each poison you've inflicted recently. It's really nice with Blade Fall in particular because it does 5 volleys, and I'm also using Spell Cascade in order to get potential AoE overlap on there. Hey! Any pointers for a newbie? Well, I have a lot of pointers for a newbie. Do you have anything specific you're wondering about? Hey, Masad, how's it going, dude? Masad? Masood. There you go. Third time's the charm. Let's see. It's just about time to get going, so I'm going to go ahead and hop into maps. But just generally, if you're brand new to Path of Exile, I would recommend just playing around with as many skills and classes as you can and just trying to get through the story. There's a lot to this game, so getting to... I'm going to go ahead and put some Einhar in here. We're going to do some maps we don't have completed yet. But yeah, getting to the point where you're going to get very good in this game, it's quite a learning curve. So I think just learning all the basics, kind of getting a feel for what kind of build you're interested in, and then really trying to take that. Hey, how's it going, Luis? All right, so I'll kind of show you guys how this works. There's going to be a lot of lost frames. For Spellslinger builds, I do end up with very low frames per second. I'll pull up my frames here just so you guys can see. So as you can see, we're down to 8 FPS, but it's a very strong build. So even with the 8 FPS, and it's a little bit better when I'm not also running OBS and multiple kind of setups, so it might be a little bit difficult to see what's going on, but for the most part, in fact, it's very difficult for me to see what's going on. But we'll just try to position ourselves well, especially during Deliriums. Deliriums have a lot of issues, so maybe I should have played a little less frame intensive type thing. I can't even pick things up right now. Maybe I should have played something a little less frame intensive, but this is a very strong build. I currently do not have a 5 link even. I'm on 4 links. I'm on 2 4 links and a 3 link. And I'll kind of explain the build a little bit more after this map once we get some people in here. It looks like we've got a good amount of people. Hey, poisons, yes. Oh yeah, poison is definitely 8 FPS new meta. That is absolutely the case. Delirium has completely broken my frames for sure. As much fun as it is, with certain builds, it's well, it's not unplayable. If you make a build that can just kill everything every time you press a button, then you don't really have to worry about it too much, right? Who needs frames? You can't die if you're just killing everything all the time. I have not used that amulet, or at least not that I can remember. I may have used it in a previous build, but I've done a lot of builds, and I can't even remember what it does off the top of my head from the name, to be honest. So, Choir of the Storm. Yeah, I can't quite remember exactly what that... Ooh, hey, what do we got here? Got our... Hey, a Baron. Woo, a Solo Self Found Baron. Maybe I switch over to a zombie build, yeah? Porcupine's got to be a little careful. I'm not particularly tanky, and this is a red beast porcupine, but those poisons really stack up. We're only on tier 2 maps, but we also have low gems and we're low level, so it kind of evens out a little bit more fair. Alright. Slow map clear, just because it's hard to keep track of where I'm going, but it's not like insanely slow. It's an alright map clear. And 21. Oh, but there is an abyss over here. Could get an abyssal depths, maybe some juicy stuff from that. Picked up a lot of essences. Delirium is great for Solo Self Found. If nobody's played, if somebody has been interested in playing Solo Self Found, but they're kind of afraid to get started in it, I would recommend this as the league to do it, especially if you've already accomplished in Trade League the things you want to accomplish. Wait, where'd it go? There it is. Because you get so much extra stuff, and essences, for instance, you get a ton of. They're great for crafting in Solo Self Found. Just generally, really, but even more so in Solo Self Found, where you can't just purchase your way into better gear. It's really, really nice. Would recommend. Would highly recommend Solo Self Found in Delirium specifically, more so than any previous league. It's been really fun. Granted, I'm not that deep into it just yet, just kind of getting into the end game, but I mean, it is very enjoyable. Is it worth grinding Onigoroshi in Delirium? I would say at this point, with the power creep of some of the stuff and with the meta as it currently is, I wouldn't say it's particularly worth farming in Onigoroshi in any... This is my second hungry loop this league, or in Solo Self Found, and I haven't found any in Trade League. I'm just going to toss that in here. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend necessarily farming in any temporary leagues Onigoroshi at this point, because it's strong and it might be great to start off. If you want a really easy leveling experience, you definitely can, but it's not worth as much time as you're going to be investing into farming it at the moment. Is it still profitable to chain run beach maps? Yes, it's still profitable, although the layouts for some other maps actually worked out to be better, like Jungle Valley, for instance, seems to be even more profitable, because the way Delirium works is there's like an epicenter and it moves out, and even more so than like it just being completely linear and you can run through and get the splinters from the boss, being a further distance actually drastically increases the amount of splinters you drop. And so longer maps are actually better. If you can get a linear and long map, that's actually ideal for running that. But Beach is still a great map. It's just maybe not the single best one anymore. Just started mapping on my Venom guy or Assassin. Yeah, getting some poison action. It's great. So I'm going to explain kind of what this build does in a little bit more detail now. So it's a pretty basic poison setup. We grabbed like the fatal toxins and the swift venom. Very importantly here, the poisons you inflict deal damage faster node is very, very strong. In fact, I'm going to be anointing dirty techniques once I have a silver whatever, the silver thing, and once I have one of them, I'm going to go ahead and silver oil, that's what it is, oils. So I'm going to be anointing that, and more importantly, I'm going to be using, I got a nice little thing here, which is Wasting Affliction, 20% increased damage with ailments. Damaging ailments deal damage 10% faster. And the reason this is so important is because you kind of get a more damage multiplier that scales with your poison duration and your ability to do poison damage faster or ailments faster. Noxious Strike is able to scale that up, and it's kind of a fairly it's kind of an exponential more damage multiplier that you get with these two combined. Silver Oil, thank you. So I am going to be trying to scale those together, and that's why I'm able to do a decent amount of damage despite the fact that I don't have a lot of links just yet. I'll probably drop the Ethereal Knives, but yeah, I'm using Bladefall, Spellslinger, Poison, and Spell Cascade. And for now, I'm using Poison on all three of my skills because I want to have 100% Poison chance. And right now, this is the only way I can really achieve that. So I'm using Poison, Spellslinger, and Ethereal Knives with the Ethereal Knives Threshold Jewel. So it shoots in a circle around me, as you can see. It's really nice. I was thinking of potentially using Chain just to get a lot more poisons laid down, but probably not going to do that for now. Blade Blast, this is very strong. In combination, both Ethereal Knives and Bladefall leave behind these blades that explode. Now, the initial cast is only going to explode, but you can see these little blades on the ground. Those will then explode upon my second cast. So the first one, it's just going to shoot in front of me, but Spell Cascade will, or a Bladefall with Spell Cascade will leave behind a lot of blades, and then Ethereal Knives will also leave behind blades. So it's a pretty nice little synergistic one. It does take up a lot of my mana, so I'm not able to run any kind of aura, which is a big deal. Even right now I'm using Charisma. I might be able to get away with not using Charisma, but I'm using it just in case, and that would save me other points. Other notable things, I have a bad cluster jewel right now, but it's all I have, and I'm mostly just using it for Grim Oath, which will give me 10% of physical damage as extra chaos damage, which is very strong. And Spellslinger has a interesting mechanic, which makes it so that you get spell supported skills have added spell damage equal to 95% of damage of equipped wand. So I have a flat physical wand here, which has an okay amount of damage for Solo Self Found and pretty good attack speed, and then it has a damage over time multiplier. In what league is Onigoroshi worth? If you play if you play a permanent league like standard or hardcore, I would say, or Solo Self Found standard or Solo Self Found hardcore, I would say it's worth having an Onigoroshi. But in a temporary league, especially one this late where it's just going to kind of disappear, I would recommend probably not doing it this late in the league. The Onigoroshi isn't going to be worth much to sell, and honestly, there are probably better options, and not a lot of the builds that Onigoroshi would have been used for previously are very strong unless you have extremely good gear otherwise. So I would say, even though it used to be very strong and a very good leveling item and definitely worth getting, I would say that's probably no longer the case. A lot of people have found me through my farmable video, and that features very heavily me spending 9 hours or 7 hours, whatever it was, farming an Onigoroshi. At the time, that was quite a while ago, and at the time it was kind of worth it, and because they would sell for quite a lot and there were a lot of people actually using them. These days, very few people using Onigoroshi. It might be worth farming if you're playing Solo Self Found, because you can use it to level any melee character, especially if you're a big fan of playing melee characters. I'm going to go ahead and pick up all the small stuff, even though it's kind of a waste of time here. Now, boy, this is awfully brave of me. I can't see a thing, but I'm just jumping right in the middle of everything. Get some medium cluster jewels. Luckily, Assassin has some pretty good regen, so as long as we're killing, we're mostly surviving. Okay, that's pretty good. And get ourselves, ooh, a unique small cluster jewel. Wait, was that I didn't even notice that there was a Delirium boss there. There must have been. Oop, don't want to get caught. Oh yeah, I also have Withering Step, which I keep forgetting to use, neglecting to use really. Really nice for bossing. So, and I choose, most of the time I get 4-2 for my rewards. Sometimes, ooh, I keep getting caught up on things. Sometimes if I go really fast, I'll get 5-3-1. I kind of just choose to let it go at 4-2 because I don't want to, I don't want to die and lose too much there, and B, you know, it's kind of a hassle to go back through the map and pick everything up. I'd rather lose out on, like, I guess it's 3 rewards. It is pretty substantial at that point, but yeah, I just don't go fast enough. Once I increase the the level of my loot filter. I'll definitely change that though. I wonder which unique jewel is this? The Siege, and adds kineticism. Attack projectiles always inflict bleeding and maim and knock back enemies. Projectiles cannot pierce, fork, or chain. Okay, cool. That's neat. It's not a hollow palm technique or anything, but it's still pretty neat. Is there any other gear or weapons that are useful for leveling? Yeah. So you definitely want Wanderlust every time you level. That one's super important. It gives you some gives you freeze immunity, which means you can open strong boxes without worrying about being instantly killed. 20% movement speed, which is about as good as you can get until like what, Act 4 or so. And then it also will provide you with some mana regen, which is very nice in the early game. So very, very good. I would highly recommend that. Other than that, it kind of depends on your build. There's things like gold wrap. Yeah, I don't remember, but there's a helmet that gives you a bunch of all resist, which is pretty nice. Not necessary. And tabula rasa, of course. Tabula rasa is also in my video how to farm that. That is extremely useful for leveling any new characters. So from here, I've pretty much got a lot of the stuff I want. I'm probably just for now going to head down to Thick Skin, grab that, excuse me, get more life, and then I'm probably going to get up to maps that are level 75 or higher, so tier 7-8 maps, I think, and try to farm a couple of large cluster jewels and see if I can get one with 8 passives so that I can improve that. And then I'll kind of spec out of some of the wasted points that I won't be needing so much. But once I get this life, I'll just allocate the rest of these so I can quickly deallocate them once I have that go. Gold Rim, that's what it is. One with nothing? Yeah, Hollow Palm technique is great for leveling. Not particularly expensive either. So I got a medium, I got a Warcry medium one, which is great. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to that for now. And kind of just taking things casually here. I'm picking up a lot of things since this is solo self found. A lot of my gear is crap. I didn't go over all of my gear, but I have this helmet. It's nothing special. I definitely need to upgrade my helmet. But it is a 4-link with the colors I need and has some life, and I was able to craft some resistance. This amulet actually has a very high life roll, and it has intelligence, which is important because without it, I can't use my flame dash, and also my Spellslinger in the next level or two is going to get past the point where if I don't have the intelligence, I won't be able to use it. So pretty good there. It's an okay thing. This shield is not particularly great, kind of low life. Some resistances, it's got some all resist and then double resist crafted on. Then this ring really sucks, and I'm only using it because I haven't found a better ring yet. This ring is a little better, but not much. My rings aren't great. My wand here is actually quite good. What is the radius passive in your tree? Oh, my jewel, threshold jewel. Here, I'll pull that up after I finish up with my gear here. Gloves they were okay. I got these at like level 40 and have been using them ever since. I'm sure I'll find better gloves hopefully. Belt's actually pretty good. A little low on the life roll, but pretty high fire and lightning resist there. And overall, it's got 101 life, which isn't bad. And I can blessing it to put that up to 104 life if I feel like it. So that's actually a decent belt. And of course, the boots. Boots are my best piece of gear, hands down. It's not even close. I got really lucky when I found these. As far as the radius jewel I have here, that is Ring of Blades, which makes it so that my ethereal knives fire 5 additional projectiles, which is nice because that means they'll put down more blades for Blade Blast, and also in a circle, which means I don't have to, I can be in the middle of everything and kind of hit it with the ethereal knives, which is pretty sweet. Pretty good. So that was pretty much all of the stuff I have going for me at the moment. Let's check some of this gear for anything good. Not really, no. Get that 5, what was that? 5 life, 4 life? Wow. Not great. Quite bad. real bad. All right, it's all garbage. Good. Go ahead and get some ults out of that. We're definitely going to be doing some nice ult spamming on some jewels later, so we want to make sure we're well stocked up. I'm not doing any like racing strategies, so you won't see me popping in and out. It'll be a little casual, but that's okay. Solo Self Found's all about taking your time. I'm not competing with anyone or racing with anyone. The ladder has already been well established even in the Solo Self Found. So this is just kind of to challenge myself and see what I can do. Oh yeah, I was able to take down Atziri, but I did die like 3 or 4 times to get the Atziri's promise, which is really nice. Makes mugs of coffee and tea for everybody in chat. Milk and fridge, sugar and biscuits. Hey, I got coffee myself. I did mix in a little bit of rum in my coffee because I haven't streamed in a while. So, you know, getting that. Bro, feel like forever. Hey, how's it going, Chris? Thanks for stopping in, dude. Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't had... Hopefully my bitrate and everything is okay. I know my frames when I'm actually playing are not the best, and I apologize for that, but there's nothing I can do, unfortunately, in regards to that. But all right, so this is a pretty rough map, but we're going to just run it. It's fine. It's a tier 2 map. I probably should have put a... master mission on in there. I didn't even think about it. Yeah. Get coffee going. Have a nice little chill coffee session. In theory, it's a little late for coffee, but, you know, I still had some, and it's fine. I'm not an addict or anything. There was a good discussion about that on the Discord. Oh boy, I can't move. 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 Wow. Okay, that was I don't know if I got stunned or frozen or what, but I was not able to move. Maybe I just got caught on a particle or something. I'm not gonna pick up the whetstones. Hey, how's it going, Kenneth? Is Witch still good? Witch is always good, dude. Witch is arguably the most consistently good class all the way through forever. A lot of the racers currently use Witch, specifically Elementalist, to try to get up and going very quickly. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff you can do with Witch for sure. There's some nice nice Necromancer builds out there. There's some nice Elementalist builds, even some good Occultists, although I would say out of the 3, Occultist is the least popular Witch build. Well, I knew that was going to happen. I couldn't see a thing. Got down to a solid 1 FPS there. Yeah, probably going to see some deaths. This build maybe not the best for streaming. I'll try to do something a little bit less frame intensive for my next stream probably. But I'm really enjoying this build. I do get more frames when I'm not streaming for sure. I wasn't sure exactly how this would go down. But yeah, it's no problem. 10% experience. I'll make that up in no time. We're still low level. Unless I die a bunch more times. And this is a particularly gnarly map. It's got haste, it's got added Physis Fire, it's got more monster life, it's got dodge chance and evasion or accuracy, which is the mechanic I'm using is evasion, although I've got not nearly enough of it to begin with, so I don't know how much that is helping. You don't really like Delirium? Yeah, I can see that. It's a matter of taste. I actually really enjoy Delirium. I've done quite a few simulacrums now. I'm really enjoying them. On the Trade League, of course, not on here. I'm nowhere near doing a simulacrum just yet on this one, but both in terms of my character's strength and, of course, the splinters necessary for it. Slow Leagues, Betrayal, Blight. Oh yeah, I love Blight. Blight was great. Betrayal was great too, and I am, speaking up, I need to make sure I'm putting Betrayals on my maps here. That's very important. Very, very important. Yeah, I may as well stop and smell the roses, pick up some whetstones while I'm here. Some transmutes. Get all of my small currency sorted, because it's not like I can buy them. On Trade League, I can ignore a lot of the small currency because I can just, you know, pick up more later. But I need at least a certain baseline in here, which I definitely don't have. Not yet, at least. But the good thing about this build is, even despite all of the horrible frame drops, as you can see, I'm spiking very rapidly. Even just walking around, I'm down to like 20 something, and as soon as I get into a fight, it drops down well below that. 0 FPS league, baby. Slow leagues. Man. Hey, Patterus. How's it going, dude? Thanks for stopping in. Hey, Kenneth. I don't know if I said hi to you already, but thanks for stopping in. Having a good time at this, where's the Bitter Dream? No Bitter Dream this time. Maybe I actually haven't found one yet, but I'm sure I will do some sort of wacky build with a Bitter Dream, whether it be in Solo Self Found or just, maybe I'll just do it in Trade League so I can do some interesting things with it. Alright, and I believe, yes, there is indeed a Metamorph here, so let's go ahead. It looks like we missed something, but I don't know if I'll have enough to get a Organ. I will not, so is there anything better I can put these into? I think would I rather have Catalysts or Fossils? I think I'd rather have Fossils. And Jewels are good, Currency's good, okay, cool. I need to make sure I'm using Withering Step and Flame Dash to make sure my Arcane Surge and Wither is up, and also my Flasks during fights like this. I also need to make sure that I'm getting the minus mana cost craft for my rings at some point, so that I can actually sustain my mana, because I go through it pretty quickly once I have the Frenzy charges. Oh yeah, for my main attack I'm using Frenzy, Barrage, and Withering Touch, which is quite nice. Hey, yeah, my hair is quite long. I'm going to be cosplaying Hari Mackenzie from School Rumble. It's something I decided last night, and I need my hair grown out. Mostly it's been because of the quarantine and just general laziness that I've let it get to this point, though. All right. So let's see. Get anything good? Got ourselves some Dwaydra's Tenure. Not so good. And bad Amulet. Any good jewels? Hey, that's not a bad jewel. Life, all resist, and minion damage. That's actually quite good for a minion build. And I got a Baron earlier too. I could get a pretty gnarly SSF SSF Summoner. Oh, I should probably put the... I still want to collect all the uniques, so... Got to make sure... Oh, I already had a Dwaydra's. I must have already tried that. So, let's go ahead and... Oh, want to keep that. Need to unveil. Need to do a lot of unveiling still. And that's not a good jewel, so we'll just toss that. Unveil this. Oh, we'll take the Arcane Surge. And... we'll just take that. Doesn't really matter. For weapon ones, unless it's something that's high priority, I'm going to get them all anyway, so... Any of them are as good as any other, for sure. Alright. Get everything in the right place. I know that for a lot of people who like seeing faster playthroughs, me going into my stash every single round or after every single map is kind of a pain, but it's just something I do. On Solo Self Found particularly. Once I have my loot filter set much stricter, I don't bother doing that. I'll just shove a bunch of maps in there, but helps me kind of gather myself. But yeah, my hair is quite long. Getting there. Moving on. I think it's about at its limit, though. I don't think I'm going to grow it any longer than this. I can probably, hopefully, self-maintain it from here. Well, it's not that I've never tried to cut my hair. I've never tried to cut my own hair sober. Let's put it that way. There was, when Jessica and I first started dating, or pretty soon after we first started dating, there was an incident where I got really drunk and decided I didn't like the length of my hair. So I tried to use some clippers to cut it, and it did not go well. And at the time I was kind of embarrassed because, yeah, Jessica and I had just started dating, and when she came over, I refused to show it to her. So I ended up having to go to the salon. I wore a hat to the salon and had them fix it the next day. And when I took it off, everybody in the salon laughed at me, or the barber or whatever, the hair place, whatever you want to call those. It was a pretty interesting experience. So lesson learned. don't try to cut your hair when you're drunk. Valuable lesson. Ooh, get some Cassia. I should. This map is kind of hard to maintain a Delirium anyway, so I'm not going to go super out of my way and backtrack to make sure I'm hitting the Delirium here. Just going to do the Cassia mission. Chill out. Yeah, it was good times. Good times. I don't think I would do that again. Not that it was a conscious choice, and also it seemed like a really great idea at the time. I thought it would go absolutely fine, but how hard can cutting hair really be, right? It doesn't seem like it would be that hard. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. At least your own. Maybe it's a little bit easier to cut somebody else's hair. I have no idea. I should probably put something here to slow this down. Maybe like a stun tower. We'll go ahead and throw one here too. Make sure we can get these, and then that should be good enough. I think I'll be able to just power my way through the rest of this. Not exactly a super high level, super difficult encounter here. Oh, I say that as I let them reach the purification pump. Mistakes were made. Alright. There. Should be good. I can't click today. Alright. Boy, I forgot how much talking so much streaming makes my voice hurt. Need to make sure I'm drinking enough water. Oof. All right, seems good. I think it's because I try to project. Maybe if I set my mic up in such a way that it picks up my voice but doesn't pick up any other background noises, I can talk a little quieter and it won't wear me out quite as quickly. All right. There's our Delirium hidden down here.
Your life will end and you will be forgotten.
I love the Delirium voice guy so much. He's one of my favorites. I would say my absolute favorite is Izaro, and then maybe Dominus, and then I think the Delirium voice is probably my tied for third with the Templar as far as voice acting goes. I'm a big fan of Izaro though. I think his voice actor is great, and I don't know who it is or anything. It's not like I'm an active fan, but I really enjoy the voice acting for Izaro. I also like Piety a lot. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Despite the fact that a lot of the voice acting was sourced in New Zealand for this game, I think they've done an incredible job. Really have. A lot of great things from GGG. Ooh. I don't even pay attention to what rewards I get from the Deliriums. I'm stuck. Stuns. Oh, I think I haven't rolled a freeze removal flask yet. That's a big mistake. I need to get on that. See if I have a Beastcraft after this map. Because I think I have bleed removal on 2 different flasks as well, which is unnecessary. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Kiro. Probably should have cleared a little bit more of the map to at least try to get 4 rewards before I came in here. Alright, so big boss, we wither step, we throw in our flasks, and then we spam. And he's dead. Easy peasy. What exactly am I supposed to do with the Delirium League? So basically there's these little mirrors in the beginning of every zone, and you're trying to go through that mirror. It'll activate the Delirium mechanic, and then you want to get as many monster kills as quickly as you can from there. and you'll get rewards based on how many things you kill. The rate at which you get those rewards will increase the farther away from the mirror's starting point you are. So as you move further into the zone or map, you'll get increasing rewards. Later on in maps, you'll get splinters for a special map called the Simulacrum as well, which is very fun and I would highly recommend. It's pretty difficult though, so you'll need a very strong character to be doing Simulacrum for it to be worthwhile, but definitely very fun and worth kind of shooting for as an endgame goal if you're a new player. So yeah, you just get, and the rewards can vary. They'll usually be ones based on league mechanics. I've cleared mostly everything here. I can get out of here. But yeah, lots of useful things from uniques to things from league mechanics like essences. You'll get things like, for instance, this last one I got catalysts, which are very nice. They're the league mechanic from last league. Very, very strong. They allow you to power up your jewelry, which is useful. Now, this is actually a pretty good wand, kind of. This is kind of an okay wand for Solo Self Found. I'm just going to hold on to it for now.
Need a map?
Alright. That up. Not a great ring. Hey, no problem, dude. Let's see. Get all this stuff sorted out again. But yeah, these Simulacrum splinters I get, once you get 300 of them, you can open a special map. I'll probably wait quite a while. I feel like my power level until I get some good cluster jewels going is kind of going to plateau pretty good at a certain point. Although I guess I still have low level gems as well. I like the way you put your thought into words. Do you have some experience where you had to talk or explain a lot before you started your YouTube channel? This is actually my second YouTube channel, so I had a little experience before. I used to do a Magic the Gathering YouTube channel. So I had some experience from that, and I've also done stuff that required, I guess, like public speaking prior to any of this. So I have some experience with that. For instance, I was in forensics in high school for a little bit, and I've done like plays in high school, that kind of thing. So I have a little bit of experience in that, but for the most part, yeah, just that kind of thing. I have a lot of experience speaking, and I'm a talker. I like to talk. I have my quiet times too, but get a couple of drinks in me and I'll talk. I'll talk a lot. I think it also helps that I've read a lot in my life. I don't read as much as I used to, but I have read a lot in my life, and reading a lot kind of gives you that you get to see things put in a lot of different ways, and it kind of helps you compartmentalize your own thoughts, and it makes them a little bit easier to describe because you just have a little bit more perspective in various different things that allow you to explain things a little bit more easily. So yeah, just if speaking in front of people and explaining your thoughts well is something you want to do, I would just recommend doing something that involves public speaking a little bit, even if you're not good at it at first, which no one is. Everybody sucks at everything to start with, right? But I would recommend just exposing yourself to that and then just reading a decent amount. I'm still not the best because I am scatterbrained, so even though I have experience in it, I feel like sometimes I fumble over my words a little bit, especially when it comes to remembering specific things. But I am well practiced at it, even if I'm not the most masterful. Let's say that. See, hard to find words sometimes. I don't think I have natural talent for it. I think it was all learned, is what I think.
You will never get that which you seek.
Ooh.
There are no more worthy beasts nearby.
Getting those delirium frames. See, before I activated delirium, I mean, I didn't have great frame rate, but it definitely gets a lot worse with the delirium. Hey, no problem, dude. No problem. Alright, well, let's clear this out. The boss is in the middle. A little bit awkward for Delirium maps to have the boss in the middle. I guess it isn't so bad, but not the greatest. We can slow down the Delirium by opening up our opening up the Essence dude here. We have good sustain while we're clearing packs. I'm just gonna head in. Oop, get these last few packs here. Don't get exploded on by the red guys. All right, we're gonna triple row nest this guy. We're gonna enrage him. We're gonna enrage him real good. See if the Delirium actually lasts. Oop, I want to enrage you further. Oop, it's dissipating. Yeah, he's gonna get out of it. So no free simulacrum splinters for us. So make sure we're withering stepping here. Also, I want to actually try to hit him with the frenzy whenever possible because we do have withering touch as well. So I want to make sure. Oh, I should be probably looking at like assassin mitts, for instance. Any kind of easy to roll green gloves I should definitely be looking at. We'll take the unique item. We'll take the weapons. Kind of want this more than I want the currency item, and we'll just throw this down here. Hey, Sleazy Gamer, how's it going, dude? Wow, long time no see, man. Yeah, definitely. I've never actually played Animal Crossing. Whoops, big whoops on that one. Reading chat is the excuse I will use. Whether or not that's true, you can go ahead and speculate for yourself. But yep, totally reading chat. Longtime viewer Sleazy Gamer pops in. I kind of have my attention diverted a little bit.
Good luck with your maps.
But yeah, I've never played Animal Crossing. I used to play Harvest Moon 64 and the one for the Super Nintendo, but never once played Animal Crossing. It doesn't necessarily look like my kind of game, if I'm going to be completely honest. I can see how a lot of people would like it, but for me personally, it's just not. I don't think it's my thing, you know? Same thing, a lot of people really like Minecraft, including a lot of people I know. I played it and I did not enjoy it. I didn't find it that fun. I don't even build my hideout in this game. I guess I do a little bit of hideout building in Fallout 4 when I play that. All right, let's try to not die here. That would be great. Fantastic. Oh, he was almost dead too. Well, there you go. I'm sorry for using you as a scapegoat for my death, Sleazy Gamer. Oh, I need to stretch. Ooh, ow. Tweaked my neck a little bit there. All right, vape and coffee break. So let's see. How are y'all doing today? Y'all? Why does he keep so many gems? Good question. So the reason I pick up gems, particularly in Solo Self Found, is because I like to pick up quality ones. I'll kind of show you right now. I don't know, you probably already know this in general, but I need a lot of gem cutters prisms for Solo Self Found. I can't just buy them or anything, and I can't buy quality gems. So I can take all of my, I can look at quality here. I can take all of my quality gems that I have in here, and I can just sell them for GCPs. So for every, I think it is 40%. I don't remember for sure. Maybe it's 20% worth, but yeah, I get some gem cutters prisms, and I can use those to, there, got 5 gem cutters prisms out of it. Pretty nice, pretty good, would recommend. So that's why I keep so many gems. And since I'm starting a brand new character in Solo Self Found, don't have a lot of gem cutters prisms. Probably won't get a lot just by picking them off the ground in any reasonable time. So off we go. Get some remixed Mega Man music up in here.
Learn anything new. Stay safe.
All right. Oh, I didn't even vape. %? All right, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, we got that going for us, and we're up to 13. I don't even know what I'm going to quality first. Probably Bladefall. So once I get a 5 or a 6 link, I'll probably drop the Ethereal Knives and focus all of my links on Bladefall. So I'll probably do like Bladefall, Spellslinger, Poison, Spell Cascade. Ideally, I would like to not have to use Poison, and then I have like, where are they? Do I have them here? Deadly Ailments, for instance. Unbound Ailments, perhaps. Hey! You're welcome, Gerd. Collect quality gems, kind of a habit already. Yeah, I would say that's a good habit to get in. It's very nice in the beginning of the league. You can usually sell currency for a decent amount. A lot of people are looking to quality up their gems in the beginning of a league, so GCPs are probably like 2 weeks or a week into the league. Very nice to have a good stockpile. If you have the quality gems yourself, you can already sell them, or if your setup doesn't really require quality on your gems. And then, yeah, it's just always useful. There's not too much to explain about it, really. Having quality on your gems is good. I would recommend having it pretty much at any point. Hey, Point Blank is actually pretty decent. All right, let's, well, yeah. Before we do this, I want to see if I can craft a flask for, so I have bleed removal here. Oh, I do have freeze removal, but it's on my life flask, which is a little awkward. And then I have bleed removal on my Quicksilver, and I don't even have a secondary thing here. So I don't have anywhere near as many glass blowers baubles as I need to get these qualityed up. I'm using a sulfur flask for now for the regen and damage. And then this gives me a little bit more leech, and then I have a bleed removal Quicksilver apparently, which is fine. I need bleed removal somewhere, but normally I like to have, like, I would optimally want this to be freeze removal, this to be adrenaline, and this to be bleed removal for my oh shit flask, basically. We'll do some Syndicate. Let's get some Syndicate going on this map. So I do have everything except curse removal, I guess, which would be nice to have. I could probably get that on my other life flask. Preferably, optimally, I'll replace my second life flask, the one in the first slot, with a utility flask or another unique flask. There is the poison one that's kind of nice, although I don't really scale crit multi, so getting that keystone that you get from it, I don't remember the name of the flask, I already forgot, but it gives you perfect agony when you have it active. I'm not really scaling crit multi, so I don't think it'll really do much for me. I kind of have the voices a little loud here. I'll probably turn them down. I like to keep the voices loud because I like the voice lines, if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, it's really bad when we get the betrayals, especially the ambush ones. During these times, I kind of just have to hit my life flask periodically and hope that I don't die during lost frames. It worked out okay there, but sometimes that can be really a pain during the Delirium encounter itself. And we get 10. I'm just gonna hit that right away. I'm not gonna pay too much attention at the moment. Later on, I'll focus more on them. But while I'm leveling, maybe I should be paying more attention to them, getting everything set up. I want to pick up imbued ones. Always picking up imbued ones on this build because I want one with, I mean, there's definitely, I have a pretty good one for now, but there's definitely improvements I can make. Is this your first YouTube live? In a long time. I used to do YouTube lives all the time, but unfortunately a lot of technical issues came up that kind of stopped me from doing it for quite a long time. But yeah, this is my first YouTube live. I attempted to do one about a month or a month and a half ago, I think. I don't know exactly. I'm really bad at time. But some period of time that is semi-recently ago, I tried doing it, but my OBS settings were so bad because I made some technical changes to my computer setup, like my monitor resolution and some various other things. And it took me a while to figure out how to get them set up. I'm not as tech savvy as I could be, for sure. Especially when it comes to things like OBS that I should be educating myself better on. And I have been working on that.
Strong and reasonable. I like to exile.
But yeah, it's been a bit. I missed it. I have a lot of viewers who have watched a lot of my older YouTube lives, and I get asked a lot of times in the comment section of my videos still if I'm gonna ever go live again. Answer is yes. I very much miss live streams, for sure. It's nice to have that little bit of interaction. Plus, it's free content. This is like a video. If you miss part of it, you can just go back and watch it afterwards. Because I'll keep the replay of this up on YouTube. So, free content. It's fun to interact with people. We do have a Discord now. Anybody who didn't know, I would link the Discord link, but it's kind of hard to do from here. So if you check out any of my previous 3 videos or so, there'll be a link in the description. We got a good amount of people in there now. We got 130, 140 people. Get some fun conversations sometimes. It's good stuff. Voice is going again. Some things are attacking me here. Alright, so we definitely need a lot of rings to unveil because we want... Alright, didn't get it, so unfortunate. But we want the minus mana cost jewelry craft here. I'll take this. It could also roll on amulets. Wrong reduced mana cost, but we'll take that for now. Might be helpful. I like the song. I don't even know which one this one's from, to be honest. Oh! Summon Spectre Wolf on kill. Is this new? Or do I just never get that? Yeah, I haven't posted a new video in a while. I haven't been particularly inspired. I also took 8 days off playing PoE because I had some personal things going on. Ooh, that's almost good. If that 1 to 2 cold damage, man, the prefix is kind of messing things up, so I can't craft flat fizz. Almost good, not quite. Shame. Oh well. So yeah, we're gonna just keep going down here. We'll start picking up more life here. Our life's pretty low at the moment. We definitely want to get close to maybe 4.5, 5k before we move on to, well, maybe not before we move on to yellow maps, but by the time we get around yellow maps, mid-yellow maps. Or else we're gonna start running into some frequent deaths, I would imagine. But yeah, now that I'm back to playing, I do have a couple of video ideas. I just haven't filmed them yet. To be honest, I've also been... Magus from our Discord recommended this Japanese reality show called Terrace House, which at first I thought, okay, this is going to be dumb, and I'm going to hate this. But then I ended up watching it, and I ended up becoming... obsessed? Is that the right word? Definitely engrossed. Probably not obsessed. I feel like that's a little strong, but I've become very engrossed to it. And I watched all the seasons that are on Netflix. Hey, there's a Citadel. Go ahead and get this Watchstone Altar. That's 2. And then I am watching the one that isn't on Netflix through means. Through various means. So yeah, I've got that going on. It's taking up probably more of my time. I'm also playing Borderlands 3. I purchased it when it was 50% off on Steam with all of the DLC for $50 with my stimulus check. So got that going for me as well. It does eat up a lot of my resources. Even my new fan gets really loud. I think I might also at some point might have to upgrade my GPU because I bought it 3 years ago and it was already 2 to 3 years out of date. I did a budget build, or a budget GPU that was pretty good at the time for its value. Haven't been playing PoE for quite some time. Any suggestions with builds, mechanics you can focus on? So there are a few new mechanics that are really fun. Depends how long you played, but if you like to play melee and you haven't played an Impale build yet, I would highly recommend doing like either a Bladestorm or Cyclone Impale build with Slayer Duelist or Slayer Gladiator, anything like that. Really good. Champion, all good. Any Duelist Ascendancy, and probably Berserker is great too. Lots of good stuff to do there. If you like spellcasters, I would highly recommend trying out either Spellslinger or Archmage. They're two very interesting new kind of mechanical setups that are very fun and scale very well, and create some pretty interesting builds. Like a Archmage Stormbrand character is very popular, very easy to get set up. And then this one right here, Spellslinger. Spellslinger is like having Poet's Pen, but on anything. Meaning every time I attack with my wand, I'm going to be triggering the 3 spells that I have set up with Spellslinger. So Ethereal Knives, Bladefall, and Blade Blast. And you can do a lot of cool combo things. I'm actually going to do a video on this. I want to talk about all of the different ways to trigger combo skills and talk about the kind of how combo skills have evolved and how that more and more of them have been added. And I'm kind of excited for more to be added in the future as well. So seems like every once in a while we get more combo skills, and they're really piling up. We get like we get our Frostbolt Ice Nova set up, we get our Blade Blast, Bladefall, you know, EK, all that kind of stuff. Get a lot of cool stuff going on with this. So I'm very excited for the future of combo skills in PoE, because, you know, it's fun to be able to just use one skill and cruise through the game, but it's also fun to have all these neat interactions that you can stack on top of each other, and it definitely builds up the power. All right, I have 4 Vol Pyramids, and I haven't run one yet. I can't run Fizz Reflect, so I do have to identify. Unfortunately, this build can't run unidentified maps. It's a little bit of a downside for sure, but it's not so bad. Let's go ahead and let's do some more beasts, and then I might go and see what kind of... I probably haven't done enough beasts to have anything really good I can do with the beast crafting, but we can see. Yeah, so the way Spellslinger works is it reserves mana based on the mana multipliers of the skill that you use. And then it will, every time you attack with a wand, you will trigger any spells that you have associated with Spellslinger. So, as you can see, every time I attack with my Frenzy, it triggers all 3. Super cool. Very neat setup. There's a ton of possibilities with this. You can use it to trigger... you can use it to trigger a decent amount of things all at once. Oop. We got a Delirium, and there is a red beast and 2 yellow beasts in this. Maybe I shouldn't walk in here as I walk in here. Maybe I should have just shot from the outside. Hey, I got my first Conqueror, which is pretty neat. Alright, looks like I'm fine. The sustain from all of the ads that the red beast is bringing in is enough to kind of keep us alive here. Pick up all those imbued. Hey, how's it going, Brain? Good evening. Konbanwa. Oh yeah. So that wasn't as bad. We're pretty decently strong, although we are...
Hello, friends. Welcome to Behind Eyes Gaming.
Wow. That shocked me. I forgot all about that. Thanks for subbing, Sean Smith. I need to set up my notification to be maybe not quite as loud, and also to be a little bit bigger. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Let's, where's my Streamlabs? There you go. We'll pop that out so it's a little bigger. Maybe put it right above my head. My latency is quite bad. Yeah, it's not great. Well, to be fair, this isn't much worse than it normally is. I'm on cable, and especially since the whole event, the global event that's currently going on. That mentioning it will get me demonetized on YouTube, apparently, is what I've heard. That event has caused a lot more people to be on the internet. And since I'm on cable, we share an internet connection, and that means I'm not getting anywhere near the speeds I should be getting, which means I have very choppy latency at the moment. Hopefully my upload bitrate is at least good. And I'm also losing a lot of frames because, well, Delirium, and this is a poison stacking trigger build, both of which cause loss of frames. Next time I live stream, I will probably be playing a build that's less laggy, I guess, less frame intensive, let's put it that way. But yeah, we're stacking like dozens if not hundreds of poisons per second. Maybe not that much, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but we're stacking a lot of poisons per second and also triggering many spells every second. So it kind of is difficult, I guess, for PoE to register all of that. This is the power of what you can currently do. You can currently make your computer drop down to 8 FPS. Because, yeah, the latency isn't so bad, but it is the frames. As you can see, I'm dropping below 10 frames per second very frequently. It's still a fun build, and it doesn't get nearly as bad as this if I'm not streaming, if I'm going to be honest. I had no idea what effect it was going to have on my streaming. I can't pick things up here. They've all dropped down here. There you go. All right. Some of the music in the background that is not video game remix music is by my buddy who's in a band called Regdar and the Fighters. If any of that is something you're interested in, you can check out his YouTube channel if you just search Regdar, REGDAR and the Fighters. He lets me use it, of course, copyright free. I actually used to sell merch for him at his concerts and stuff. So, and he's actually getting married soon, which is pretty cool. Oof. I might be able to improve my performance if I turn off my display, but I kind of like to, on my stream, but I kind of like to keep that up just so I can monitor everything. I don't know how much it would help. It might not help at all, so I'm just going to leave it for now. I'll experiment with it between this stream and the next stream. But yeah, right now I'm deciding if I want to stream 2 days a week or 3 days a week. It'll either be probably Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Tuesday and Thursday. And if it's 2 days, it'll be for 3 hours. But if it's going to be 3 days, I'll probably just do 2 hours each day. That might have to be it because my voice gets quite tired very easily from streaming. I don't know how some people do it 8 hours. Maybe they just sit in silence for half of their stream or something. I'm not really... I don't watch a lot of streams for an extended period of time except at the beginning of a league, basically. Yeah. Easy bosses. More than 50 monsters. How did that happen? Did I skip a big portion of one of the floors? I'm gonna go back because right now every map drop could be precious. I must have skipped it on the first floor. That's unfortunate. It's probably not. Probably shouldn't be going back. It's probably a big waste of time. The old school PoE mentality. During Delirium, my current latency can't even run a full juice map. Yeah. Ah, yes, I've actually heard that the Singapore server is pretty bad at the moment. Unfortunate. Yeah, I've kind of just been getting used to playing builds that don't require me to aim at anything or do anything in particular at this point. Maybe that's a bad mentality to go, but I really enjoy the league. I don't want to not play it. But you're right, there are some performance issues that are hopefully going to be addressed in the future. And I would like to have been addressed by now, but what can you do, right? It's not my game. And I'm sure they have other priorities. A lot of people have requested that they delay future leagues, which is kind of hard because, you know, that's how they stay relevant, is they continue to release leagues. I swear I had another unveil left. Nope. I am blind. All right, cool. So I should have been looking at the items while I was scanning over them for unveils, so I don't have to look at everything again. But I did not have the attention span for that, apparently. I tried doing a build with this, with the Warcry things. Turns out it's a lot stronger to just use Berserker with Warcry. A, because you get a ton of cooldown reduction for Warcries, and B, because you get basically an instant large portion of your health regen at all times. So I was kind of doing it wrong. I think I was a little bit ahead of the times. I was doing it before a lot of other people were doing it. I just did it wrong. I did a bad version of the build that became popular, I think. I guess it wasn't that bad. It definitely lacked damage. Maybe if I had found better mechanics to abuse damage there. Yeah, I think I've decided during this stream, and it might be because I've had a cold too, but that my throat is wearing down, but I think I'll do 2 hours a day, 3 days a week. So for the future, I'll announce this. I'll go ahead and put up a notification on the YouTube channel, and I will also make sure that I stick it on the Discord. But I'll be doing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 4 p.m. till... Actually, let's go 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I'm more of a night person anyway. So for future dates, we'll go... well, actually, I have to think about it. Let's not jump into this too quickly. Budget builds that get past endgame? I do budget builds that get past endgame, or I do non-budget builds that get past endgame. Usually I do budget builds that get roughly to endgame first. That's kind of the setup that I like to do. I'm sure there are budget builds that can adequately deal with endgame, but I haven't been able to find a lot of them. So what and I guess it depends on your definition of budget. For me, it's like budget I think of as like 10 chaos per piece of gear. Usually I get to like red maps with that kind of build, and then I start to transition into like, you know, all of my pieces of gear are, you know, at least an exalt or two before I start taking on endgame. Which is obviously much less of a budget. It's hard to call like a 10-20 exalt build a budget build for sure. It's a little bit more budget than some other builds, but you know. What is my most overpowered build? That's a good question. I will have to think about it and get back to you. I mean, I had a really strong Cyclone Slayer with like 450 DPS foils. Like all of my gear was pretty pimped out, and I did everything on that build. I did like Elder, Uber Elder, Shaper at the time. This was before, you know, Cirrus was a thing and everything. I've also had a very strong Baron build that was capable of clearing all content. So, but most overpowered, I don't know. I don't like to play like super overpowered builds. Like for instance, I never aimed to get a Headhunter. I've probably been in a position where I could afford a Headhunter before, but it was like, I don't enjoy playing things that trivialize the game, I guess. The closest to that I did was my Winter Orb self-curse one with Soul Eater, I guess. That build was kind of overpowered in that it could clear maps like in 5 seconds, 10 seconds, like in a stupidly short amount of time. But and that was a Juggernaut. But in terms of like what your standard overpowered build would be, where you're running like Inspired Learnings, Headhunters, all of these really broken mechanics, I just don't like to play those builds. They're not fun for me. I don't enjoy them. I like actually engaging with the mechanics of the game. That sounds a little harsh. It's not like these people aren't engaging, who use these kinds of builds aren't engaging with the mechanics of the game, but it does trivialize things more than I personally enjoy doing, you know? My opinion on Herald stacking, it's very strong. It was weird that they nerfed a build because it's not something they've ever done mid-league, but I definitely do think it was justified. It was already absurd, and it's still very, very strong, and probably still absurd. Honestly, it probably hasn't gotten all that much weaker, if we're going to be completely honest. I would like if they avoided getting a mechanic to that level again. Like, if there's a way that they could avoid having another incident like this whole Herald stacking incident, that would be great. I personally am not a big fan of it, and I did do it for a little while, but in a much lighter way. It wasn't with like triple voices. It was like 2 large double socket ones and a total of 4 medium clusters. So it was kind of more like the medium way to do it, I guess. It was fun, but once you take it to the strongest logical conclusion you can get, the furthest logical conclusion, I guess, it's kind of yeah, it definitely seems unfair at a certain point. Scale's too hard. But hey, I say people should be allowed to have their fun. GGG made their bed to let people sleep in it. Whatever I mean by that. All right, let's go ahead and pop these on all of our stuff. I kind of dislike using incubators on stuff I might upgrade soon, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. Wow, we got almost an incubator for every single piece of gear. That's pretty good. Pretty good. All right, moving on. We're going to continue to do the rest of our tier 3s here. Oh, got poison on hit. Okay. And let's do a temple. Temples are fun. Yeah, it's definitely an unfair mechanic. And I don't know how they could have prevented it, I guess. Alright. I had a USB plugged in for my thumbnail, and got disconnected. Play with one hand for a sec.
Righteous will be turned to ash.
Ooh, we got critical strike chance. Medium cluster. I didn't see if it was a 6 or not. You don't want 6 socket medium clusters if you can help it. You want either 5 or 4. I mean, in Solo Self Found you really can't help it, but eventually I'll get enough clusters where I can be a little bit more picky. At the moment I don't even have any, what are we at? We're in monster level 70, so we have a ways to go yet before we get up to the point where we are going to start crafting large cluster jewels. Either a chaos or physical. Oh, it kind of stuck there for a moment. Go over here, do the Elva. The Elva will stop the Delirium, but I need to clear out enough where I'm not... Oh no. Well, I've made a terrible mistake. I didn't go fast enough. That's okay. We got our 4 rewards, good enough. Maybe if we're quick about this Elva, enter incursion. Nope. That's what I was worried about. If we stop to enter the incursion, just because we're trying to erase the Delirium, we'll definitely die. So what do we got? 9 passive large, but it's for staffs, and 5 crit chance. It's not bad. That's pretty good. Precise commander. Alright, sweet. That's a neat pretty neat medium cluster jewel for us to get. Could be useful on future builds. Need to get ourselves a good temple ring at some point. I definitely want like a mana temple ring because I'm having. Oh, I entered the other incursion, so now I got to go back down and grab that, and then pop back up and get this incursion. Want to get a temple going here. I think my chaos resist is not great. Actually, I have 16 chaos resist. That's way better than I thought, if we're being honest. Alright, so what do we got here? I can't even tell where I am. Okay. So I don't know what... For some reason, it's not showing up. I don't know what I'm in. What killing these guys will do. I know nothing. Okay. Oh, there is a stone of passage. I just missed it. Alright, let's pop that in, get out of here, go do the other incursions. So where was I? Royal meeting room, okay. I guess we can get some Itzubi going on. Potentially. 5 more incursions. Well, I'll just swing back up to those after I get the boss cleared and everything. Easy peasy. Get some good damage here. Yeah, our damage isn't bad. It'll definitely drop off later, but we need to improve our survivability. So ideally with this build, once I get my 4th Ascendancy Mistwalker, and I would like to have a Kitsugi Mistwaller set up, which is quite nice, and then stack a decent amount of evasion. I think that would be great for this build because then we could go with 1 life flask for our regen during boss fights. We should have great fights against singular enemies because we'll be dodging and evading most stuff and blocking anything we don't. So that'll be quite good. And then we should have great sustain with just killing things with the poison. So that would be the ideal setup for this. So if you're thinking about doing this in non-solo self-found and want to do something similar, Kintsugi and Mistwall combo would be very nice defensively, because we don't have a lot of we don't really have the sockets to set up a Gaston damage taken setup, so we're not going to have like Immortal Call or Steel Skin or anything going on, which is a big problem because generally those are great mitigation and something you can kind of shoehorn into any build. This build, it doesn't work because we need an abnormal amount of our sockets filled up for Spellslinger setups. Alright, there was another Elva over here. Go ahead and finish that off. We'll take the chest full of items. No frames per second, no problem. That is this build's tagline. Who needs a frame? Who needs more than 10 frames? But yeah, as you can see, if we like accidentally just flame dash into a pack, it's not really a problem. And also, once we hit things a few times, as you can see, we can just kind of let them. So I'll use 3 setups here, and we can literally just wait for this to die. I know we're in an incursion. Probably shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I'm not going to get the kill. There, gotta finish everything. There you go. I spent a little bit too much time demonstrating what I was talking about in a time-sensitive area. That's okay. It worked out. And anything good here? Life, projectile speed, lightning damage. Not great, but I'm going to hold on to it. In the beginning, I like to hold on to any kind of jewel with life on it. Oh, this isn't too bad. I don't know if I'll be able to get my resistances right, though, if I were to trade this for this. 36 fire. It's got a suffix? No, open prefix. Yeah, I think this won't work for me right now. Oh, maybe I'll test around with it later. Alright. Mostly not good. This isn't going to do anything for me. Just going to get rid of that. I don't anticipate playing a staff. Maybe. I'll hold on to it just in case. I'm a little bit of a pack rat when I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what builds I'll play in Solo Self Found later on, and I don't know what I'm gonna get, so I kind of hold on to a little bit too much. Alright. Behind Eyes Gaming. No frames, no problem. That's right. That's my personal tagline. Not just the tagline of this build, but my absolute personal tagline. I can take a short break and a short vape and coffee break. There you go. Third time's the charm. I got it out. Need all of my vices. Just sort through shit while I'm doing that. Do I have a good amount of regals? I have 5 regals. I'm gonna go ahead and regal this this one here, even though I'm not gonna use it immediately. And quick getaway isn't that great. It's alright. Movement speed if you've dealt a crit recently, attack and cast speed, and then some crit chance. It's not the best thing you can get on here, but it's certainly okay. Precise Commander is a little bit better. You get that crit multi going. I'm not going to use it for this build. I don't really scale crits. I scale a little bit of crits with Toxic Delivery, up to 2% base crit. If they have, what would it have to be here? Like 5 poisons on them, which I get on them instantly. Like as soon as they get Bladefall on, they're going to get 5 volleys onto them. So all right. Breaks up. Get back to it. Got some relic chamber going on. Can't run it. All right. This isn't bad. That's a decently low monster damage roll, and neither of the. I forgot to put a master mission on it again. I'm pretty bad about that. I forget about that all the time, and so I end up with a huge amount of them stacked up. Sometimes I'll just put on music and I'll just be like vibing and mapping and enjoying my time. I hate this map anyway, if I'm going to be honest. I'm really not a big fan of this map. Ooh, I'm lagging before I even entered the Delirium. That's a bad... Oh, I just had a latency spike. But I really hate Relic Chamber. It's one of my least favorites. I hate this whole tile set. I hate it in the campaign. I forget the name of the other map that has a similar tile set, but I'm really not a big fan of this tile set. I do like the hideout with this tile set, though, the library one. Really good. Ooh, it's my first small cluster jewel. Hello. Hello. Please be life. That would be fantastic. Then I might have to do some spamming. I didn't really catch what it was, but I hope it's a life-based one. I can mostly maintain my mana, but not quite. It's once I start spamming really fast, it goes through it real quick. Fog, defiled cathedral, good shit. Good stuff. Uh-oh. Stunned. Well, didn't get a lot of rewards for that. Kinda got caught up in things a little bit. But, oh, hello. Intuitive leap, nice. That's pretty good. Hey, that could be incredibly useful. I'm really happy with that. That's my first, like, decent drop I've gotten, besides those boots. Pretty stoked. Alrighty. Yeah, it feels like there's a weird amount of backtracking. I don't know what the optimal way to run this map would be, but boy, it just always feels awkward. It's not like it has a hard boss. I mean, you can't run it on a low life character for sure. Alright, let's go ahead and sneak this guy down. Oh. Got ourselves another citadel. Alright, we're up to 4. And we have spawned... I need to start doing my Conqueror, actually. If I can. I'll start doing that after this map. Get my Conqueror spawned. Okay. Okay, looks like I got most of it. Oh, hopefully I kill enough to make up. Now that's 0 frames. Now that's what I call 0 frames, volume 3. Oop, I'm dead. Maybe there are some problems with having 0 frames. Oh, energy shield, man. Oh, and I got energy from Naught too. That one's pretty good. Well, that might be useful on another character, but certainly not on this one. I might try to find a way to use Intuitive Leap. Well, nothing wrong with having 2 Screaming Eagles if I'm going to level a melee character at some point. This is not great, and this is not great. Go ahead and sell those, go finish off that Legion that I so shamefully died in. Definitely need more survivability. Oh, I was like 5% off from a level 2. That's unfortunate. We'll make it up. Oh, I'm dumb. I forgot to activate my Spellslingers. There you go. Fixed. Should probably go clear out this area too. Oh yeah, another reason I don't like this map tile set is because of the guys that like have to take some time to crawl over the wall. So you end up with a bunch of random stuff. If you're running through relatively quickly, you'll end up with a bunch of random stuff in the middle of the map that you didn't clear, like this guy right here. He's just sitting there, he climbed over the wall. He exists. I wouldn't have noticed him. I would have just ran past him. I wanted to let the poison kill him. Alright, let's try this again. just in case I die again, I'm really hoping I don't, but just in case, I'll throw a portal right there. Lots of rares here. There we go. Alright, I think it's cleared. I think we're in the clear mostly. Get some splinters. I like to pick up all the uniques, especially in the beginning, just to make sure that we get a decent amount of alchemy shards. And I keep the first one of every unique I get, because I just like having the collection. My unique stash tab, but then like when I get doubles, I just start selling them for alchemy shards. Once I get enough alchemy shards, I only pick up good uniques for the most part. Yeah, I found an exalt while leveling this character, which is pretty funny. I mean, I guess it's not that uncommon, but it's still a little pretty rare, pretty lucky. Alright, we'll do a Vol Pyramid to start with. Start spawning our Conqueror here. Movement speed and accuracy. Let's go ahead and throw on a Syndicate here. Oh, wow. Got chunked. Absolutely chunked. Go ahead and wither.
I'm a man of limited talents, as you can see. Only so much you can do with a hook. And
He's in
apparently this
fortification.
wasn't one of them. You don't need to kick a man while he's down. Just let me figure out a plan B.
I don't remember what Riker in fortification does, nor Leo in transportation. So I'm just gonna let this one go. I'll let him go. I should be putting more effort into setting up my syndicate. I've been completely ignoring it. What are you doing? Get off me. Alright. It's not that bad, but it's not that great either. Alright, let's go get our mirror going. Oop.
Think I prefer killing over negotiating.
Same.
But I had the upper hand.
Oh. Oof.
You want to know? Don't tell the Syndicate.
Should probably, I think I want to get Chimeria into research, if I recall. God, I can't even remember. I did a whole video on this. I spent so long learning about it, and now I can only remember that like Torah in research gives gem experience, and boy, maybe that's it. That's all I remember. That's really bad. Hey, how's it going, Skylar? Yes. Well, I guess I've always had at least a little bit of beard. You should have seen my beard 2 weeks ago. It was huge. I looked like a mountain man, especially with my hair growing out like it is. It was a little bit too much. I couldn't handle all that hair. I was too hairy of a man. There's a limit to how much I can accommodate. Yeah, I have that, I'm stuck. I have the quarantine look for sure. The I've been living in a cave for months look. Which may or may not be true. May or may not. Could be. Gonna have a hard time upgrading my boots, so I think rather than picking up any boots at any point, I'm gonna wait until I get a hunter's boots, because that'll allow me to potentially get the poison deals damage faster skill. And so when I do finally replace these very nice boots, it's going to be with the poison deals. Pretty good. Pretty good. How about yourself? For the most part, you know. I don't think anything's changed since you know, the Fire Nation attacked and such. Since the event that I can't mention on YouTube without being demonetized happened. For me, nothing's really changed. I've always kind of been naturally socially distancing. That's just something that I do by default. So, and yeah, I can still do YouTube stuff, although I did take a while off because I did have some stuff in my personal life going on. But yeah, for the most part, been great. Been doing good. Maybe not great, but at least good. I'll say that. How is life treating you, Skylar? Man, I'd really like to continue playing this build specifically on stream, but it's just so many frames lost. Hey, thanks. Yeah, it's good to be back. I had to do a lot of tweaking, but we're here. We did it. It was a matter of time. I was coming back. The only way I won't be back at some point is if I die. Or I guess, you know, move on to a different game at some point, but I don't see that happening. PoE's been the most persistent game in my life, so yeah. Overall, I think even factoring in things like DDR that I played since I was a kid, PoE has still persisted longer and more consistently. Well, not longer, but definitely more. Oh man, almost got wrecked.
You are no king of God. I cannot
Get as many people trusted as we can. Alright, let's just unveil here. Oh, cooldown recovery speed. So this is actually really important. So I want to get cooldown recovery speed because it affects Spellslinger. So I'll be able to scale my attack speed a little bit higher and get more frequent spell casts if I have cooldown recovery. So that is quite important for this build in particular.
Warm night.
I think I'm going up this way. Gonna try Diablo 4. Chances are good I'll try Diablo 4. It kind of depends where I'm at financially at the time, and also just how I'm feeling generally, but if I have the opportunity to, I'll at least give it a shot. It looks like it's going in the right direction. Excuse me. I like David Kim. I like how he's being open with the community, more similar to GGG rather than, I don't know if you guys remember the beginning of Diablo 3, but the whole Jay Wilson incident. Oof. That was rough. So comparatively, I think that David Kim is doing a lot better job as far as keeping people updated, taking community feedback, doing that kind of thing. And I was kind of losing faith in Blizzard for a while because they seemed to be going in the direction of that whole like executive decision, we know best, we know how you should have fun type attitude. And so Blizzard was falling way behind for me, but it looks like nowadays they seem to be going in a direction that I'm much happier with, and I'm more open to the idea of playing Blizzard games again, whereas before I was definitely resistant to the idea. Yeah, that's true. That is definitely the case. There were some rough moments. That being said, I actually really enjoyed Vanilla D3, honestly, to a certain extent at least. I played it a lot. I was one of those guys who was like grinding and putting stuff up on the Real Money Auction House when it first began, and I made something like, I mean, not an insane amount, but a good amount of money. I made like $400 over the course of Vanilla WoW on the Real Money Auction House, just selling virtual items. So That was pretty cool. That was fun for me. Not an experience that's super common, I guess, which is what made it so interesting. Alright, once I get up to probably tier 5 maps or so, I'm going to start... Well, once I get my first Watchstone, probably, I'll start alking all of my maps. I'm just going to run my last Beast one. And Reaper of Souls, I didn't really like the direction that was taken, like the just spamming greater rifts type thing. And the gear progression felt really bad, like really bad. I really hated the gear progression in Reaper of Souls, so I played it for maybe 2 weeks and then quit. And then tried it again like a year later and played it for like 2 weeks and then quit again. Because they didn't fix it. They in fact made the problem worse over the course of its run from what I've experienced. All in all, Diablo 3 for me was a big train crash, I guess. But you know, some people like it. Some people like it a lot. So, to each their own, I suppose. But it's not for me. Not in its current incarnation. But Diablo 4 looks more promising. I do think that. If they can get itemization right at least, and get the gameplay feel to be as smooth, because that's what Diablo 3 did well. Diablo 3 had very smooth feeling gameplay. It felt incredible. The performance was very good too. I don't want to throw shade at PoE right now, but well, look at my screen right now. If I wasn't playing something that was hitting the entire screen all at once, this would be rough times for sure. I wouldn't be able to aim in all this. Are you kidding me? Oh, and also there's that. Man, that's like my 3rd or 4th death this stream already. I'm not doing great. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at our deaths. 22 times, damn. Oof. Big oof. Gotta get an F. Press F to pay respect. Whoop! And then I just flame dash right into what could have been certain death. Oof. It's a good thing I'm not playing hardcore is all I can really say. Elemental damage with attacks. Gotta make sure we get all of our crafts going. Ooh. Make sure we're keeping our withers up. Make sure we're keeping everything up. Oh, killed him. True. I mean, Activision has been around for ages. Blizzard was a titan of video games, creating some of the biggest hits in computer gaming history. So, you know, and GGG was a small, is a small team. They've definitely grown a great deal since then. Certainly. And they do a great job. Like, in terms of pure depth and replayability, and like the item system's phenomenal. There are so many things about PoE that are any criticism I give to Path of Exile is given with love. I know I've said this in a video before. I love PoE. I think it's the greatest game. In my opinion, it's the best game there ever was. Period. I think it's the best game there is. But I think that doesn't mean I think that it's above criticism. I don't think anything's above criticism ever. Like, there's not a single thing that I would consider above criticism. And whenever I criticize it, it's because I hope that that criticism is, you know, taken to heart and the game is better because of it. And I'm not saying I know everything and that my criticism is always valid. Certainly it isn't sometimes. I don't have the full scope of all of the issues. I don't have a full understanding of everything that goes into making or putting together the thing. But I think the performance issues are something that everyone can agree with. That is something that needs to be handled at some point, because they can't just keep adding performance intensive things to the game that isn't able to run them properly, you know. It'll lose people. People are going to leave the game because of things like this, and that's a shame because it's a great game. And if people leave because they're having frustrations with the, with the performance issues, I wouldn't even blame them, honestly. I'm not going to. I love the game, but yeah. So my criticism comes from a place of love. I'm never throwing shade at GGG. I think they've done a phenomenal job. Just some things that need to be tweaked. That's all. More than 50 monsters still. Hey, finally getting some gem level ups here. More than 50 still, just in this little corner. Ooh. Ooh, gonna die trying to pick up loot. Ooh. Well, there we are. All right, and Officer Kurak has something to say. All right, we get to do our first, this is good. At least we got this going for our stream. I got a Voidbringer, that's cool. What do we get? Stacked decks, level 20 gem, and some jewelry. Well, Kinetic Bolt changes direction one additional time. I don't know how good that is. Probably not going to play Stormbind if we're going to be honest, but I'll hold on to this one just in case. I know it's a low level, but, beggars can't be choosers in the beginning. 95% sure I'm not going to be playing Kinetic Bolt. Oh yeah, I should probably
Good luck with your maps.
toss this in here. Oh, maybe not.
Learn anything new.
Sell all this stuff, and then let's go fight Baron, our very first Conqueror of Solo Self Found. This is where it all starts, getting into the fun endgame stuff. I feel like Conquerors were the best change to the Atlas. I really feel much more motivated to do the Conquerors all the time. Longtime Diablo player coming to PoE for years of those games. Definitely think there are pros and cons to both sets of games. That's fair. I agree. It kind of depends on what you value most. Certainly the gameplay for Diablo is substantially smoother overall. And certainly Path of Exile's itemization is much deeper. Much deeper. Hilarious, and character customization in general. There are pros and cons, and they're both fun games in their own right, but the difference is I can play Path of Exile all the time. Forever. Of course I have to take breaks like anybody else, but I can keep coming back to it every single season or every single league. And really enjoy myself, and often play for months out of the 3 months that the league runs. That's not true for Diablo 2. I can play it for maybe 2 weeks, and then I start grinding for the same versions of the gear, except ancient versions of them. And I'm done. I can't. I feel unmotivated to continue playing. Maybe I can push another couple floors down deeper into the greater rifts. It's not a satisfying gameplay loop for me. But I do see the appeal of Diablo, absolutely. Oh, I'm losing this one. Those 2 weeks that I do play with it are very, very fun. The first initial part of putting together a character and doing all of the little bounties and everything on the board, doing your gambles and your crafts and your rerolls on your items, getting together your first sets, making all that work, trying to figure out a build that works. That part's all super fun. The beginning parts are very fun. Oh, very fun for me. But that's it. That's all. It ends there for me. Oh, hello. Bye-bye. Thought I was gonna die there. I'm gonna die here. Well, nope. I'm the best. Not even close. All skill. Oh, I'm dead. All skill. I spoke too soon. That was probably some karma on my end. Should get a cast on death portal setup going here. I think that would be necessary at this rate. Boy, now I have to run all the way through again. I'm just gonna pop back up where I was and put a portal there. I feel like any other, if I wasn't having performance issues with this league, I would definitely be playing it as hardcore because I think it would be more fun. Like, I feel like Solo Self Found hardcore would be super fun this league. You get the high octane action, you get like a good amount of free loot, like great reward structure. It would be ideal, I think. But I always feel frustrated when I die because I lost a bunch of frames while I'm in the middle of a pack or fighting a boss with a lot of particles on it. Nailed it. Yeah, I feel like this whole league I've been having issues with it. It hasn't been too much of a problem. Most of the builds I play are not nearly this intensive on it. Like, this is just an outlier when it comes to builds for sure, in terms of how much it'll lower my frames. All right, let's go. All right, got our wither going. Make sure we're kind of trying to aim our barrages at him, or our frenzies. Easy peasy. Alright, that's not too bad. And that is actually a pretty good place to end this stream, I think. It's been just about 2 hours now. Let's see. I want to double check to see how long it's been going. Yeah, it's been pretty close to 2 hours now. I think this is a good jumping off point. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and head out now. I will be back for another live stream on Tuesday of next week, and then I'll do Wednesday and Thursday. I'll make an announcement when I decide the time. It'll either be 4 to 6, like today, or it will, roughly, give or take 5 or 10 minutes, or 5 to 7. So hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for stopping in. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.